Welcome to the EarthWorks podcast, where our team will share the jargon of carbon from many of our turf friends from the past 30 years.
Hello all, and welcome to the EarthWorks podcast. This week, I'm your host, Jack Higgins, and I'm here with Mr. Jay Werbalowsky. Jay, you're from the town of Wallkill Golf Club, huh?
Yes. Yep.
Dude, well, let me tell everyone the story here. You called me, I guess it was probably like 3 months ago now.
Somewhere there, yeah.
Yeah. So, and you were like, hi, I'm Jay. I'm a customer. I've been using your stuff, but we hadn't met.
Nope.
No, yeah. I've been using your stuff. I love it. It's great. And also, I sit on the board of the Hudson Valley Golf Course Superintendents Association.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. And you're like, we're putting together our winter seminar.
Yep.
Asked me to speak.
Yep.
And then I said, well, cool, man. And then I said, hey, dude.
Yep.
How will you get on the EarthWorks podcast? I'll speak, you speak.
Yep. I was not caught by surprise, but I'm happy to do this. This is outstanding. This is awesome stuff. So,
yeah. Excellent.
Never done it before. So first time ever doing this. I'm looking forward to this. It's cool.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, what's cool about this is like I'm getting to know you and we're doing it here. So let's see. First of all, this is a cool education day that you guys put together.
Yes, 3 different speakers, you being one of them. And we try to have different speakers every single year. So different guys. Sometimes it's professors, PhD guys, whatever. Sometimes it's guys such as yourself with a stronger background, maybe in fertility or soils, and whatever we can get our hands on.
That's right.
Hands on.
Oh, there you go.
We do, so totally.
Yeah, and it's a nice kind of it's not too much to chew. It's a one day, one overnight, and everyone has a good time.
Absolutely. And again, this is our 3rd year doing it now. I hope I'm right. I believe our 3rd season doing it now, 3rd time doing it. NYSTA, which is New York State Turfgrass Association, used to do it all the time. And then just recently they haven't, so we kind of picked up and started doing it. But they definitely help us through all this.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they definitely help us with it. Also.
Okay, got it. So as an association, this is your 3rd, 4th year putting it together yourselves. All right, excellent. Well,
it's cool stuff.
Yeah, it's all good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, everyone has a good time. Get together. It happens to be like 0 degrees out right now.
Yeah, it was -12 this morning.
Yeah, we had that polar vortex.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Cold. Very cold.
Very cold. So tell us about your place. So what's the town of Wallkill Golf Club?
Okay, so town of Wallkill Golf Club is located in Middletown, New York, which is about a half-hour drive from here, south of where we are currently.
Right.
18-hole facility, owned by the town, managed by Troon Management.
Cool.
Troon
so you
Golf.
work for Troon?
I work for Troon, yes, correct. So there's a lot of different subsidiaries of Troon, right? I'm one of them. So we're Indigo Sports.
Yes.
There's Troon, there's Troon Privé, Indigo Sports, things like that. So we're one of those subsidiaries of that.
Right,
so,
right.
Yep. Well, we are technically a municipality. Like I said, 18 holes, and we probably do anywhere between 25 and 30,000 rounds a year. So we pump it out. We could do better, and at the same time, that's fine with me.
Oh, it's a lot of golf. It's a lot of golf. Yeah. You were saying that really changed in COVID.
Oh yeah, COVID definitely helped propel us even further than we already were, for sure.
Okay.
Not just the course, but just golf in general.
Yeah, of course.
So,
yeah. Now that was your first year as a super.
Yeah, I was literally hired, and a week later they announced COVID.
Dude, yeah.
So it was myself and my assistant at the time doing everything until pretty much almost May.
Took care of the whole
little year beyond into May. Yeah, 2 guys doing everything.
And New York State closed a lot. There was a lot of golf closures, which is probably news to people out there, because for the most of the country, golf stayed open, but here they actually closed golf courses.
A lot of places actually did close, but there were certain areas that were open. You're right. A lot of it was because of it was either passed down where the state wanted to stay open. It was there. So a lot of time it just trickled down. So if the state course stayed open, a lot of time then the county course would stay open. So therefore this town was like, okay, well, if the county's doing it and the state's doing it, then we will. But a lot of courses in New York closed, a lot of private clubs, even some other public courses. It was our club and 2 other clubs in pretty much a 5-county area that were open.
Wow.
Everything else was closed for like about a good 2 months, give or take.
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty extensive closures.
And you got a lot of play.
Oh yeah, huge, from everywhere. Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island. They came from everywhere just to play golf.
Oh, yeah, of course. Why not?
We had tee times. We had tee times like literally people booking a tee time half hour before it would get dark just to get a few holes in. It was crazy. Yeah.
That's great.
It's
Hey,
nuts.
yeah, it was fun. And
Mhm.
and what a wild thing to be like the your first couple months
Mhm.
to doing that.
Thrown right into it.
And so how did you set up a golf course with 2 guys for full tee sheets every day?
So there were some standards with that you didn't have to do or didn't work on doing because of the COVID rules and whatnot.
Bunkers.
Correct.
Yeah.
Certain things you kind of got to, okay, well, let's prioritize. Obviously, we did as much mowing as we could, still mowed greens and, still mowed tees and fairways and stuff. So as often as we could, but instead of doing it maybe 3 times a week, it was sometimes only twice a week.
Right.
Or you do it we came in sometimes on a weekend to get things done. It was a lot of hours and it was tough.
Yeah.
But you got it done.
And you probably set yourselves up for like just regular players. Like you probably gained some lifetime customers in that time. Being that you were the game in town and you were doing it. There was a whole lot of community building out of that.
And out of the 3 courses that were open in that huge area, 2 of them were pretty close by us and another course that were pretty close to us. They were open and he and I the superintendent there, he and I would talk all the time about like, hey, how did you guys do? How did this go? What did you do differently? So it definitely helped all of us kind of work together. Or I should say all of us, meaning just the 3 of us superintendents wise. We would talk to each other. Hey, what did you get done? How did you do this? So if we came up with an idea to try something during this stretch of COVID, as you will, we made it work and we kind of fed off each other to help each other out. So it definitely made a difference.
So, that's really helpful. You and I guess that's also the importance of these GCSA like communities, right?
Oh yeah.
Like that's what this is all about. What we're doing today.
Yeah.
Like you build great friendships and you really lean on each other.
Yeah. You rapport with different guys, you network, you can talk to other superintendents. How did you do this or how did you do that? How did you get through this? And I've done this before. And, so you kind of help each other out.
Right.
That's great.
And do you remember any key pointers that you guys were dealing with at the time? Or?
We still have a pool noodle in our shop as a memento because we have to cut pieces off that fit in the cup. So that way when the ball went, it didn't go in the cup. To grab it, it just kind of sat on top of the pool noodle right there.
Now you were also, did you have single cart riders?
Yep.
Yeah.
For a time we did. Yep.
Right.
1 person per cart.
Do you remember what that was like? The added pressure on the fairways and rough and everything?
A lot of cart traffic.
You saw it.
Yeah.
You saw it.
Yep. A lot more than necessary, especially during like wet conditions and stuff like that. It was tough.
Did you do anything special to recover? Do you remember like extra deep tining or anything?
No, I mean, we did some different things. We definitely tried to stay more cart path only, if you will, on certain circumstances, just to kind of limit some of that cart traffic. We definitely tried to direct more traffic using and I hate them, but ropes and stakes.
Oh yeah.
Just to kind of direct traffic in certain conditions, certain areas, just to keep them out of certain areas.
But talk about adding more work, like for 2 guys.
For 2 guys.
Yeah.
It was like, but again, we made it work. Finally was able to bring on another person. Like I think the beginning of May, we brought on another person to kind of help lighten the load, if you will, a little bit. And then eventually they lifted some of the standards of what we couldn't do to now we can start bringing some help on and doing those things, but we had to keep our 6-foot distance and all that kind of stuff. So it was really like certain people only use certain machines. They were responsible for, so this guy, and like I personally like to have people learn different jobs.
Okay.
So that way you don't have the same person doing the same thing all the time. I try.
Sure.
But during that instance, there was like one guy who always used that greens mower. There's one guy who always used that fairway mower because that was your responsibility. That was your motion. Nobody else touched it.
That's right.
It definitely made a difference. So that kind of stuff.
All of that. Okay. So but could that have been helpful in a way, like beyond spreading the germs, like when there were so few guys, like you had to just focus in on your thing.
We actually all had our own specific utility cart for a while. Like I had my cart, my assistant had a cart, this guy had a cart, this guy used the Workman, this guy used the Gator. We all had our own vehicle to kind of get from where we had to get to outside of mowing. So.
I came from a place where we all had our own buggy as it was, like, and you didn't touch the other guys.
Yep. So, but now when COVID is lifted to the point of it's almost like just forgotten. It's not, but it's forgotten.
It kind of was. It kind of is. Yeah.
I still have my cart.
There you go. Oh yeah, you still got your.
I have my cart, but everybody else they all kind of use their own carts and stuff like that.
So tell us about the golf course itself. How do you manage the place? Big place, small place?
Yeah, great question. The course is not, so it's a challenging 18-hole course. I guess the easiest way to explain it, as I say it, it's like a wheel.
Okay.
So the front 9 is on the inside, and then the back 9 just goes around it.
Okay,
so it's kind of
cool.
neat. The nice thing that a lot of people will say is my course, pretty much almost every hole, you really don't see other people. Like the hole, it's very wooded on throughout.
Yes.
So when you're playing a hole, for example, like on our 13th hole, you'll only see a group behind you and a group in front of you. It's not like you can see people on 3 holes prior. It's not like that park style course. It's more like cut through the woods and whatnot.
Right, and kind of linear like that on a trail.
Yep.
So like,
it meanders along through the woods and whatnot. It's I mean, but yet, we still have, you can see a couple open holes, a few things here and there, but for the most part, it's pretty narrowed. It's very small, meaning the greens are tiny, fairways are narrow. It's a shot maker's course. So people love it. If you're a shot maker, if you want to just pull out driver and bombs away, I'm not saying it's not the course for you.
Right.
But what I'm saying is it's more of a challenge for those who don't just like to swing hard.
You better be accurate.
Correct.
Yeah, I got you. How now? So you mentioned greens are small. What kind of acreage?
3 acres.
Yeah,
greens,
total.
collars, and even the approaches.
Yeah, total. Wow. Yeah, it is tiny.
4 to 4,500 square foot greens. That's it.
Yeah,
they're tiny.
Only a couple pins on each one.
Yeah. For pin placements. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. There's 2 of my greens literally have like maybe 3 spots. My 9th green is horrible, and if anyone has ever played Wallkill, they'll know. I forget the term. I hope I'm not saying it wrong. They say it's like a Rodan or something.
Oh yeah, the Rodan.
Where it slopes away.
Right.
And I hate the hole. I hate saying it like that, but I hate the hole because it's an you tee off uphill a little bit, but it's the whole fairway slopes from left to right.
Yes. And then you get to the green,
and then you get to the green, so you're hitting downhill shot to a green that slopes away, and it's quote unquote kind of 2-tiered. So it's impossible, almost impossible to hold the green on a shot to the green. You got to land it short and let it roll up, and hopefully it stays. Everybody would rather pin in the back because at least it rolls to the back. Yeah,
right. You're going back.
Right,
anywhere.
And if you land short and it doesn't bounce up, you got a front pin, and then you chip, it's going to roll to the back. Maybe it's annoying. So yeah.
Sounds like you got a passion for golf as well.
Yeah.
Did you come to this business through the golf side? I mean,
I've been playing golf since I was 6 years old.
Oh wow!
So I'm not going to give away my age, but
it's a long time.
I've been playing a long time. How about this? I've been playing golf over 45 years.
Well, there you go.
So there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Somebody's in their pictures.
There's your do the math. So, but 45 years playing golf. I've been in the golf industry since I was 13.
Oh wow!
Went to college for it, all that stuff. So,
was your family that has to be family? Like if
yes. So my stepfather was a superintendent.
Oh okay.
Yep, he was a superintendent. I got my start with him on the course that he managed. I grew up doing that for. God, racking my brain. I don't know. God knows how many years, 5 or 6 summers, and just doing everything. And so you kind of learn.
What's the name of that place?
Otterkill was the course that he was at.
Yeah.
Eons ago. So then, come full circle, I actually did an assistantship at Otterkill for him for 2 years. Then I moved on to a different facility, and then he actually ended up semi-retiring, if you will. And then they needed a superintendent. So then I actually took the job as the superintendent there for 10 years. He's since passed away. My stepdad passed away years ago now, but he passed away actually shortly after I took the job as the superintendent.
Sorry to hear that, pal.
So,
that was a tough time, I imagine.
Yep. But
you were on that course, the course that you grew up on with him.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
So I was there for many years, did a few different stints as growing up and as an assistant, then as a superintendent for 10 years. So yeah, I know the course inside and out, up and down. Like I know where to hit, where not to hit. And I still have a passion for the course from all these years of just growing up on it and knowing it and stuff. And I've brought people there. It's the kind of course it's opposite from where I work now. It's more of a park style. It's wide open. You can spray the ball. You can bombs away on irons. You can hit shots. But I can tell you right now, any golfer, they can say they shoot 85 as an average score. I'll bring them there. They won't break 90. And even with me telling them where to hit the ball,
it's difficult.
I've had it done. My cousin's done it. It's what you see is what you get right there, and it still beats you up.
Is it like your place? Is it small?
No, it's different. The greens. So there are 2 different 9s.
Right.
The front 9 is longer. but smaller greens. And then the back 9 is a little bit shorter than the front with bigger greens.
Okay.
Great layout though. A lot of fun. Great golf course.
Are these both 1920s golf courses or like 1950s?
So Otterkill was, I believe, built in 57 was the front 9, and the back 9 was built, I don't know exactly when. I want to say maybe 8 years later, give or take.
Sure.
Maybe even a little sooner. And then Wallkill was actually built in 90 and opened in 91.
Okay.
So I actually did an assistantship at Wallkill as well after a long time after Otterkill. So yeah, kind of I've bounced around. I've had my fair share, and I've done
that's good.
My works, right?
Yeah, that's the way it works.
But at Wallkill, I did I was their assistant before I actually got the job at Otterkill for the 10 years. And then so after Otterkill, I bounced around different spots, but then Wallkill opened up. So the superintendent that was at Wallkill was the guy who grew the course in from 1990 right up until 5 years ago when he retired. He was there almost 30 years.
Wow.
I worked for him for the 2 years, but honest to God, in the 2 years that I worked for him, I learned more from him probably than just about any superintendent I've ever worked for.
Wow, that's wonderful. After doing it for
Rick
forever.
Evans. Rick Evans was his name. I'm putting it out there to him because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be doing what I do today.
Oh,
he's the one who instilled in me to bleed dream.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
man.
Ricky was the best.
He was great. Yeah. So you learned a lot and a great guy to work for.
Yeah, and I still talk to him today.
Oh, okay, that's excellent. He's retired, fully retired.
Retired, fully retired. He still knows the course inside and out. I actually had a problem not last year, the year before.
Is it okay?
I couldn't find something, an irrigation box.
It's usually irrigation.
And I couldn't find where it was. The grass was starting to dry out. I'm like, I hate asking him, I don't want to bug him. He's retired. So I called him up and I said, hey, Rick, I said, I have a little problem. Say, yeah, what's up? So I said, I'm trying to find this one box on number 8. I said, he goes, where is it? Beginning of the fairway. It's the second one up from the ladies' tee. He goes, it's just off the edge of the cart path. He goes, just keep poking around. You'll find it. Sure, boom, boom, boom. I'm like, oh my God. Just like that over the phone. Love him. He's the best. He's the best. He's the best. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful news.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Again, like the community that you build from this. It's so
the relationships that we're talking about before. Absolutely.
It's so great.
He might be here tomorrow. I'm not sure.
Okay, that'd be possible. Yeah, that'd be excellent. Because not far from here.
Yeah, he's about a half hour from here.
Yeah. All right, great. Yep. Okay, so is it still the original irrigation from 1990?
Yep.
Oh man, how's that going?
PVC is horrible. Yeah.
Okay.
It's got the old style metal spears service tees that pin holes and break and dig them up and replace them, and it's a nightmare.
So is that a lot of the challenges for you now at Wallkill? What are what's a challenge for you there?
I think not just my facility, anywhere you go, just about labor.
It's
labor. The irrigation system, obviously, because it's 30 years old. But I tell you what, I'll keep the irrigation system if you can find good labor. That's more important. It's all about labor, finding the right people to fit and work consistently and be good and enjoy and have the passion like we do to work at the course and learn and grow. And it's hard to find that. That's what you need.
Yeah.
Hard to find that.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, it's well, the universities are starting to push out more.
Yeah.
Like it's turning on. Where'd you mention you went to school?
So at the University of Rhode Island.
That's right.
Where I.
Excellent. There you go. They have a turf program. Yeah.
They still do. Yep. Yeah. I don't know how it is. I graduated in 96, so I don't know how good it is in comparison to what it was.
No, I think they're still pushing people out.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
That's good.
Unfortunately, I don't communicate enough with them like I used to, but I actually I actually had one of probably the best professors I've ever had, Dr. Noel Jackson.
Okay. What did he teach you?
He was turf diseases and stuff like that. So he actually is probably, he's in the turf compendium that a lot of us still use today.
Excellent.
He actually helped write the turf compendium that a lot of us still use.
Excellent. Yeah. Excellent.
He was cool.
So let's talk soils and
Sure.
Yeah, because so I imagine that they were constructed greens back then.
Sand-based, they're sand-based greens, Everything else was push-up soil. They even brought soil in from different locations.
Okay.
An old course that was kind of, I would say maybe about 20-minute ride from there, kind of just went under the year before that they were building. So they actually took a lot of the soil from that course and brought it over to
really?
Wallkill.
To shape it and everything?
To help fill in, in areas and things like that. Yep.
Okay, excellent.
Yep.
Excellent. And what about turf types? What do you got over there?
So pretty much the Heinz 57, as you will, as far as on greens and stuff like that. So primarily bent POA, though. I would say, arguably, anybody can say they're this or that, but I'm probably 60-40 on the bent side.
Yeah, depends the time of the year, too. How about fairways?
Fairways pretty much rye with POA built in, obviously. But ryegrass fairways, ryegrass tees. I do have 3 fairways that are bent grass greens because they're little wet lying areas.
Right.
So they were overseeded. Yeah, they were overseeded with bent. So they're primarily more bent grass greens or bent grass fairways. Sorry.
Sure.
Yep.
So how's the rye do? What's your approach with that?
For the amount of rounds we put out, sometimes it's just easier to be rye. Although the bent definitely holds up better.
Sure, but you're just seeding all the...
Correct, yeah. So, and that's the hard part is so with the amount of rounds we put out, sometimes it's just easier to do the rye because it germinates so much faster, comes back so much faster, right? So that's the game you play. And I think a lot of guys probably are doing the exact same thing or similar things that I'm doing. Is sometimes you're still going to oversee with rye, even in that bent grass fairway, unfortunately.
Right.
And that's hard.
You're dealing with a shorter season. I mean, this is upstate New York. Like you don't have that much time. You lose a couple weeks on either end, and you kind of got to get things going. Yeah, it makes sense. So EarthWorks wise, I know that you say you're a big fan of Protein Plus.
I love it.
Nice,
great product.
Yeah.
Great product. Yep.
That's the 1405 with all those traces.
I do use the C3 somewhat.
Yeah.
The Protein Plus is huge.
C3 and Protein Plus do a great program.
Yep.
Where do you use Protein Plus? Like
greens.
Yeah. You get what I like about the product is you get great color without a lot of excessive growth. You're able to use so little.
Yes, and it's quick.
Yeah,
it's quick.
Okay, nice.
It's a good response quickly.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, it goes like you get response from 500ths of it. You don't need a tenth. You don't need that much. Yeah, just a little bit. Okay, good. Yeah, good. You ever get out with it on? You ever get with any of our granulars? Have you used any like?
So I don't. My rep that I get the EarthWorks. Our man Weber. Yeah, he's been trying to get me more involved with it. I have used. I don't remember. Again, I'm not sure, but I'm going to work with it and see how things are starting to work. I don't know if it's. I can't remember. If it's
Renovate Plus.
Yeah, Renovate. Yeah.
And
then what's the other one? It's a micro.
The Myco. Yeah, Myco 333.
So I've used those for aeration.
Perfect, dude. Yes,
boom.
That is
huge.
The solid EarthWorks program.
Yep.
That's the one. That aerification program, build a foundation for the whole season. Easy. Yeah.
Just let it rip. I mean, just after you plug them, I go out with it and just put it down, and then I do it all at once.
Yeah.
So exactly. Everybody has their own method of madness, I suppose, if you will, but it works. So
you do with what works.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah,
if it's working, just keep going.
So you put them on the hopper together and just run. Good.
Yeah. Oh, I do it all. So I after aerification, right? We drag them, blow them off, right? Okay. So then after that's done, Renovate goes down, the Myco goes down, seed goes down, top dressing goes down, drag it all in at once, and just let it get in there, and then water the.
Yeah, absolutely.
And hit it hard.
That's the program.
Yeah, just push it in and just.
And that's like a September time thing.
Usually Labor Day-ish.
Yeah, perfect.
So depending on club standards, meaning like if we have an outing or events going on, or whatever, and that's the hard part. So
if you're cranking 25,000 rounds,
you got to schedule it ahead of time. So usually, like in March, I'll tell them, say, hey, listen, I'm aerating this day. Don't schedule anything, so that way
Do you do anything spring aeration, or do you just go for a good big one in the fall?
I definitely do my fall one, right? And then I used to try and do a core in the spring with the POA that I have. Sometimes I just say I'm not going to mess with it. So I've done it the last 3 seasons now, where I will solid tine in the spring, and then during the season I try and get out there as often as I can, maybe once every 3 weeks, and I just use solid like ninja tines,
perfect,
just to kind of get some air, get some whatever. Sometimes you hit it with a little bit of fert, sometimes you hit whatever, a little extra.
Yeah.
And then I definitely do my hardcore aerification usually around Labor Day.
That Protein Plus is great for recovery at that time in the, when you're doing your ninja ties, that all that makes sense. Like that's the way I would be programming it as well.
The Protein Plus goes in the tank probably every 2 weeks, basically from Memorial Day to Labor Day.
Do you know what rate you use?
Oh, now you're killing me. I would say if I'm doing my math properly, I'm probably just about a 10th. Maybe a skosh under.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you must be using a good
Yeah, it's about just under a 10th.
Yeah. Perfect.
So it's a good, like literally, and I've seen it last pretty much almost the 2 weeks. You can just start to see it and you're like, yep, I know I'm good. Even though I already, in your head, you've been doing it so long, your 2 weeks are coming and whatever, but it's just like, you can see it that the color lasts.
It rides.
It holds on.
Yeah, good.
And then every now and again, I don't use the C3 every time, usually every other.
Yeah, perfect.
But it works great.
Excellent.
Love it.
All right, good. Yeah, that's cool, man.
We got to thank my man Weber for that one.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. Yeah. Mike's a great guy. I met Mike as a superintendent. Yeah. He was at Ashbrook when I first met him. Yeah. So anyway,
Mike will tell you off camera a good story about me. We can ask Mike about it. I don't want to say it. I'll let Mike say it.
Okay, all good, dude.
Off the record.
Yeah.
But it's a great story, and I didn't know it until he told me the story.
Okay, good.
And I was just like, wait,
come on, how blue is this? Come on, man.
Okay, so hopefully I get the story right. But apparently, what happened was when Mike first took the role to sell for Fisher, right?
Right.
I was technically his first ever stop.
Yes.
The first stop he ever made for his sales was me at Otterkill. And I told him, I said, dude, I don't have time for you right now. You got to go. I said, I don't have time. I said, I got whatever. And he was like, yo, all right, no problem. I get it. I understand. I said, I guess I don't really even remember that. And then I don't remember. I'm sure he probably stopped by, maybe on a rotation, whatever, again, maybe 4 weeks later, whatever. And then we were good, but I never knew that. And I don't know how many years. I don't know how many years ago, but he told me this, I think it was last year. He told me, how long has he been working with Fisher?
More than 10.
Right. So I mean, like, he waited 10 years to tell me this. I'm like, Mike, come on, man.
What are you doing, dude? But, dude. Yeah. I bet there's half the guys in my position or his position, our first days had one of them. It's like,
and I never even knew. I didn't know. I didn't know. I
had no time for this. I got no time for this right now.
But no, Mike's great. Mike is great. Actually, I wish I could do more with Mike, but I have restraints with the company.
It's all good. What I like, that's the other thing I like about associations and everything is that we interface also well, and it takes the whole industry. We're all in it together.
Absolutely.
Right? We're all doing the job.
So
together.
Again, like we were saying earlier, that I called different superintendents or they called me and whatever. We talk to each other about stuff all the time. I mean, I have friends of mine, superintendents, they'll call me up and say, hey, Jay, I got this issue, man. I'm dealing with this or whatever. What did you do? Because I mean, some of these guys now that are part of this whole association are younger than me.
Right.
So I've been through it. So they call me up and then, hey, what did you do? Did you ever have this instance? I'm like, yeah. What did you do? I did this and this and this. And they're like, oh, cool. And then they'll try it and they're like, wow, it worked.
Anything recently you could think of? Anything?
A few years ago, I remember a superintendent. He's no longer at the course now. He moved on, to another club, whatever. Higher, just moving his way up.
That's what we do, journey.
So, but I remember him calling me. He's like, hey, I had a well that gave out. He's like, how do I talk to my owner about getting a new well? I'm like, okay, so then here's what you do. So I explained to him. I said, you got to explain to him. I should show the numbers why you need that well, what it's going to do for you, what it's going to produce. If you just rely on the one that you have that doesn't give out enough, you're going to lose water and you're going to lose this. He's like, oh, yeah. I was like, then show him the numbers. I said, show him what it was before and what it's going to be now. So he's like, all right. I said, if you want help getting the stuff together, I said, or once you get it together, let me know.
Right.
So he did all that and got all the numbers together. He showed me. I'm like, yeah, present it.
That's what
he presented it. Guy's like, yeah, I'll buy you a new well. I'll buy you a new pump for the well.
But that's it. Like, and guys, guys need coaching. Guys need help. Yep. You're good at explaining things. You told me one at dinner time about the first tee, about the first green, guys.
Yeah.
What do you tell the kids?
Oh, so my golf pro at my club, he has a summer program for kids, right?
Okay.
And he brings in 5 or 6, 7 kids or whatever, and he teaches them, just the etiquette of golf and doing things at golf and the mechanics of golf.
Right.
He has them.
You got that. You said you started when you were 6.
Yep. Absolutely. So he putts and chips with them. He takes them to driving range. They go out and play golf. So, but what he did this year was for the first time. He did it for years before, but this time he actually said, hey, Jay, he said, can you come every time, like on either Tuesday or Wednesday, and talk to the kids for maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and just give them a little spiel about the grass and the sure. So I stopped in, told them, I said, you guys, let me ask you a question, you youngsters. I said, how old are all you guys? 9, 10, 11. I said, do any of you have phones? Oh yeah, I have a phone. Oh, you have a phone.
There you go.
So I said, let me ask you a question. I said, how much do you love your phone? And they said, oh, I love my phone. I said, okay. I said, what would happen if your phone broke? How would you feel? They're like, oh, it would be bad. I would hate it. And this and that. I said, okay. I said, think of the grass as your phone.
Light bulbs,
yeah,
dude.
like
Light bulbs.
Yeah. So they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, when you tear up the grass, it's like, that's like destroying your phone. I said, so when you take a divot, repair it. You can't run across the green and scuff your
Right.
shoes or whatever.
Especially the
Yeah,
green.
so that was the they
Yeah.
take on.
Yeah.
I said, especially the green. That's exactly what I said. So they were like, oh yeah. And then from that point forward, when they went out to play golf, whatever, you could see them actually taking the pride and putting a divot back, walking carefully on the green, taking more consideration for it. I'm like, wow, it worked.
Whoa.
But it did. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Yo, I bet there's a lot of guys listening that are
hope
gonna
so.
say,
Yeah.
they're gonna take that one, and now they just need to do it with their members.
Yeah.
Same thing,
So
right?
another story. So I saw somebody else do this. So I did this years ago, and about ball marks.
Right. Oh,
So
yeah.
everybody
that
complains
is.
about ball marks. Ball marks.
I mean,
ball marks that.
when you poll people, like I polled you, what's the problem? Labor.
Yep.
I think a lot of guys would say ball marks.
Yep.
You know, like
Yep.
it's worse than any disease.
So what I did was, and it was perfect. The one course I worked at, to where the tee box was, and the green was slightly elevated, so you couldn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but of course, what happens is once people start hitting, like, what the heck's going on up there? I put a tee where every ball mark was throughout the whole green, as much of the green as I could, and it was like Blinko, like from
Bing, bing,
yeah,
bing, bing.
you couldn't putt. It was impossible. So, but why'd you do that? I'm like, just to prove to you guys that all these ball marks that you're not fixing, this is what. Try putting. It's the same thing.
Boom.
So all of a sudden increase in fixing ball marks. Everybody.
Yes.
So everyone should, as from a superintendent's point of view, right? From a golfer's point of view, and I'm a golfer. I mean, I think I'm under 10 handicap. I think I'm a 9.
Yeah, you're a
6
good
or whatever.
golfer.
So I used to be even better. I'm old now. So, but if everyone that hits the green, right, you fix your ball mark and at least 2 others, you're going to be ahead of the game.
Mhm.
Because you got to think there's probably at least 1 or 2 people every time they play that don't fix the ball mark. So if you could fix yours and 2 others, you're fixing those 2 people that didn't fix it. So it kind of keeps it in perspective.
It's especially important in POA land.
100%.
You know, like
Very
there's
noticeable.
guys listening that might have ultra dwarf greens, Bermuda grass, or bent grass. It's more aggressive.
Yeah.
You'll recover ball marks faster there.
Yep.
In POA greens, it's like it's all year. You're shot.
Especially if they fix it the wrong way. That's the other thing is people, they just lift it straight up. You can't do that. There's a procedure to fixing a ball mark properly.
Do you like the tools?
We do use one. Yep.
Yeah. Is it what is it? Parade?
Parade. I think they both sell them. Standard Golf does sell them. I think they both sell.
You like it?
Yeah, we use it every day when we do setup.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
How do you manage your nine-man crew? Like so in the morning, how are you sending guys out? What do you get done?
So I like to tell people my perspective on that. So I would say you have an 8-hour day, right?
Mhm.
We get 75% of our work done in half the day. And then the other 25% in the other half of the day. That's just because once the golf is out, it's hard. So we get as much done as we can. I mean, I've done everything with an 8-man crew, from setup, bunkers, 2 fairway guys, 2 tee and approach guys, greens mower, and then even like whatever else we can manage. Me running around chasing everybody, making sure this is done, watering as I go. So yeah, it's a lot. It's definitely a lot. But you get everything. You just sweep the course ahead of play, and then secondary you get through. You do some mowing of rough.
So the setup guys doing all 18.
Oh yeah,
tees, greens, ball marks. You like,
but we work together as a team. So like for example, the setup guy. Let's say we're mowing tees and approaches, or mowing fairways. We have signs in front or whatever. So the setup guy, if usually he's the last guy through. The fairway guys or tee mower guys, they'll pull the markers off to mow. They'll pull the signs out to mow. The setup guy only has to do is put them back.
Okay, got
So sometimes they don't have to do both. So we all kind of work together,
right?
Systematically making our way through the course,
right?
So it definitely makes a difference. Yeah, it definitely helps.
And now spray days, who sprays? You, everything.
Greens, greens are usually one day, tees and fairways are another day.
Okay. And you mentioned that fairways aren't that big. That was something you did.
16 acres.
It's great. And you did that coming in.
Yes. It was almost 20.
Okay.
So I condensed down, probably like 19. I condensed it down. They wanted me to make the course a little tougher. It was already tough, but okay, I'll make it tougher. So I narrowed some fairways in a few spots, shortened some fairways in a few spots.
Yeah.
I got rid of a few areas where instead of the fairway going approach all the way up to the green, I kind of circled it and then just got rid of that area in before. I just had a small approach in front. It makes it tougher.
As a great golfer and as a great superintendent, you can make educated decisions and say, yo, this is good for the game, and then this is also a lousy place to grow grass. So like maybe we can lose that area too. When
you have a fairway that kind of runs underneath a tree, what's the point? So, bring that in. Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, good move, dude.
Yeah, bring that kind of stuff in to just take care of that for sure.
And so how many tanks for 16 acres? How do you do it?
4 tanks.
4
Actually,
tanks.
so I have it worked out where it's tees and fairways are all done in one shot.
And this is a 175?
No, it's a 200-gallon sprayer.
200-gallon sprayer,
200 gallons.
And that's your everything sprayer?
Yeah. I just changed the rate on it.
Okay, so you do
right on the computer.
2 gallons and 1 gallon?
No, it's well, I do by acre, so it's a 50 acres per gallon.
Sure.
50 acres per gallon or per 100.
50 gallons.
50 gallons per acre.
Right.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah, 50 gallons per acre for tees and fairways, and then it's like 60. We'll call it 67.
Sure.
For greens and tees,
or
for greens only. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
And so it allows. I mean, you can get it done.
Yes.
It's not.
I can do all tees and fairways in one tank. You're moving.
Yeah.
But I can do it. Greens is easy. I follow the greens mower and setup guy, and I'm the last guy through. So everything's out of the way already for me. The cup's cut. And the flag's out of the way. I spray it and I just put the flag back and keep moving.
How about disease? What's disease pressure like for you?
Hit and miss. I would say, generally speaking, for the most part, the program that I use, we don't really have much disease, but occasionally you do get something that pops up.
And what would it be?
For the most
dollar
part.
spot.
If the pressure is severe, you could see a little bit of a brown patch, maybe here and there. But for the most part, not really.
Your overnights get cool enough here.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's it, or that's a large
We've had
part
pits
of it.
before.
Okay.
Oh yeah, but I mean, like last year we did, and the year before we did, but we had some extreme hot temps,
right?
Hot, humid, all that. The recipe for disaster, if you will. So and it always seems to happen like literally right after the 4th of July. I don't know why.
It does.
Anywhere between the 8th and the 15th of July. It's like, yep, here it comes.
Well,
it's going to happen.
They say like, and right now, well, thereabouts, like there's a delay after the solstice, for both the winter and the summer, where you get your extreme temperatures a couple of weeks after that. That'll be like your max out time for extremes. Because dude, we're sitting here in the middle of January. It's going to be like negative 5
tonight. Yeah. It was negative 12 this morning.
Oh yeah, negative 12. You said, yeah, geez.
It's going to be negatives again. But you take the other extreme. Like, I don't know, every area is different. For us last year, I remember going to the delegate meeting in the end of October, and it was like 80, I think, and it was dry. Like, when I say dry, you could water a spot for an hour, come back, and it looks like you did nothing.
That's a good.
It's just hydrophobic.
That's a good point, dude. Yeah, that's a good point.
Brutal.
So,
October was horrible.
So what's that going to be like now coming out this spring? Because a lot of the country had that exact same thing.
Yep.
So a lot of guys are going to be coming out in the spring with turf that didn't get a very good chance to recover, and also just took on damage. I mean,
well, so I'm curious as well as you. So I have, again, everyone has their own way of running their golf course, right? So I've noticed before, in a few years ago, when we had some dry temps and watering was difficult. So I remember watching areas go into drought formations, right? And drought conditions and stuff like that. And almost to the point where the grass does it on its own, as you know.
Sure.
And then as soon as we got a little bit of rain, bounce right back. So I'm like, okay, good. So,
that's what you're looking for.
Right, exactly.
That's what you're looking
but now that's in July, you get that bounce back in the rain. But when it happens in like the end of October, beginning of November, you're like, well, now what?
Exactly.
But at the same time, I was kind of concerned, and I don't know, because I know guys that were watering like crazy right up until that. And then all of a sudden, the bottom dropped out and it got really cold really fast. So if guys watered a lot, and then all of a sudden now we're having freezing temps, and we literally went from that, because I remember blowing out my irrigation system the first week in November.
Okay.
And then we got snow the day after.
Oh, shit.
We went from it was 70, 75, like
and
literally.
Dry.
And then the week we blew out the irrigation system, it got cold, and then we had snow.
Was that your first precipitation, or some of it?
And over a month.
Was snow.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
So ironically enough, what I'm concerned with is, and I watched, then the snow came, but then it melted, and I watched it turn green right away. I'm like, okay, great. But I'm concerned with guys that watered a lot. If it was too wet, and then we got all the snow, and then it melted.
Deep freeze.
Deep freeze, if it gets too cold, and which we have right now, those roots are going to hurt.
Yeah.
Instead of maybe more hardened because of the droughting. I don't know. We'll have to wait.
I do think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be an easy year growing grass next year, just for that reason that the plant does all of this energy storage, all this carbohydrate storage in the fall, and we didn't really have a fall that it was even there was a lot of dormant turf all fall. So
you're right.
There wasn't much going on.
Scary.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens here.
I mean, do I have concerns? 100%. Right now I have 5-6 inches of snow on my golf course. So
that's probably
I can't see it, and I don't want. The insulator. I'm happy about that. I'm good, and so okay, we'll deal with it when it comes.
There you go.
There you go. So.
Well, man, this was a good talk.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun.
I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Okay. Yeah. Anything else you thinking? We got this education day tomorrow.
Which, I'm excited about. 3 different speakers, you being one of them.
Yeah.
We're excited about learning a lot more about.
Yeah, we're doing soil testing,
and learning about some fertility from other, there's different things from different aspects. Every year we try to have some different speakers. So
good deal.
We also try and encourage anybody to come to it. So if anyone can make it, come.
Great. And I also commend you guys for having manufacturers reps like myself speaking. I appreciate it, and I do think that it diversifies the speakers. And like you say, you don't get the same guys every year. Nope. And I think we bring a lot to the table as well as the university guys.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Different realm and a different scheme of looking at things from maybe a different perspective. So again, as a superintendent, you work on your course, right? But as a golfer, when I play my course, I see it differently than I do from a working standpoint.
Yeah.
So the same thing is we can bring in guys from universities and they can give us some great discussions and stuff like that, which is great. But then having guys such as yourself give talks, I think I'm looking forward to it. I hope I'm right. It's going to be more direct to certain specifics, whereas sometimes professors, it's just very broad range.
Right. No, we're kind of hands-on talking about what's going on, out there in the field.
For sure.
All right, man.
Cool.
All right, thank you, Jay.
Hey, man.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Good.
I enjoyed this. It was awesome.
Right, excellent.
Looking forward to doing it again sometime.
Yeah.
I'm in.
All right, good. We'll have you back.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time on the EarthWorks podcast.